Right everyone, FP1 and FP2 have been completed for the final time. The final 3 practice sessions of the 2024 season have taken place at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi for the UAE round of the World Championship. But let's have a look at which drivers are looking good and what we learned from this session. The 5 things that we learned from Friday practice around Yas Marina. So the first thing we learned, and the first thing that we kind of expected really, was there were a lot of young drivers on show. Isaac Hadjar was in the Red Bull, Ayumu Iwasa was in at the RB, Arthur Leclerc was in at Ferrari, marking the first time that 2 brothers have ever competed in the same Formula 1 session for the same team. Of course, brothers have competed in the same Formula 1 races before, but this is the first time they've ever done so for the first team. Also, we had Luke Browning, who was in at Williams, Felipe Drugovich in at Aston Martin, and Hirakawa, I didn't quite catch his first name, he was in at McLaren. So yeah, some young Japanese talent, or at least some Japanese talent. I don't know how old he is, to be honest. I know Iwasa's quite young though, on show in this session. Yeah, they're all doing a good job really. Hadjar had a spin in the Red Bull. He's being touted as someone who could potentially drive at RB next season. We'll see what happens with that. We also saw Jack Doohan as well, but I'm not really counting him in this because he's got a full-time seat for next year and he'll be taking part in the Grand Prix anyway, so we'll see a lot more of Jack as the weekend goes on. The second thing we learned is that Charles Leclerc is going to be in for a bit of trouble, or at least a harder time this weekend, as it was broken, the news was broke, I think during FP1 actually, that he will take a 10-place grid penalty for the race on Sunday. Obviously McLaren and Ferrari with that huge battle for first in the Constructors' Championship, but yeah, Leclerc at best will start in 11th place for the race on Sunday, which makes Ferrari's job just that little bit harder. He's having to take the penalty, I believe, for going over his allocation of energy store devices throughout this season. Third thing we learned is that McLaren are looking good. Norris winning, getting top in FP2, I should say, and Oscar Piastri in second place as well in FP2, looking very, very strong. They weren't quite as strong in FP1, of course. Hirakawa was in the car instead of Norris, but not, sorry, instead of Piastri, I should say, but Norris managing to get P2 in FP1. So they're looking like the team to beat, really. Charles Leclerc was fastest in FP1, but like I said, it doesn't really matter too much what he does in qualifying. He's going to be down there anyway. Carlos Sainz, on the other hand, is, yeah, we'll see how he gets on through this week. And he got P4 in FP2, though. Next up, let's talk about the best of the rest, which I think is a bit disrespectful of how good they were in FP2, and that is Haas. Now, Haas are in a big battle with Alpine for 6th in the Constructors' Championship. They need to get a big points haul. It's not going to be easy for them, but they can absolutely overhaul that, especially if they replicate their FP2 form in the race on Sunday. Nico Hülkenberg up in 3rd place. The guy that's closest to the McLarens in terms of the pace. Unbelievable effort from him. Kevin Magnussen quick as well, up in P8. He's the Great Dane in his what could well be his final Formula 1 race. Of course, he's moving to WEC to compete with BMW for next year. Yeah, looking good, our Haas for that. And the final thing is that Red Bull, at least for now, are not looking very quick. Sergio Perez only got 10th in FP1. Obviously, Isaac Hadjar was in place of Max Verstappen. Even when Max Verstappen did get in the car, only P17 in FP2. Of course, he didn't really get a clean run either, but at the same time, Perez being down in P14 in FP2, that is not a good sign. I expect them to improve for the race. I expect them to do better in qualifying for sure, but as things stand right now, Red Bull are not looking too great for this weekend. I mean, it doesn't really matter to them. They're going to get 3rd in the Constructors anyway. Max Verstappen wrapped up the Drivers' Championship a couple rounds ago already. But yeah, not looking like they're in for a great weekend this weekend. But yeah, those are the 5 things that we learned from Friday practice at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What was your main takeaway from Friday practice? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you very soon for some more content here on the F1Chronicle.com. Have a good one, guys.